Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy. Yeah, so for this video, I wanted to talk about real quick. As many of you Spider-Man fans may know, you'd have to be living under a rock if you ain't know that the sequel to Spider-Man from 2018 is coming out on PS5 uh, later on this year. Um, let me start off by saying, first of all, obviously there has been a very long line of Spider-Man games on various different consoles and platforms. Um, the last couple of games before the Insomniac 2018 game, they were okay, I guess. You had Shattered Dimensions, you had uh, Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, passable Spider-Man games, passable games, and if you go back even further than that, you have the first two, at least the first two movie tie-in games for Spider-Man. The first one from 2002, and then the second one in 2004, based off the second film. Um, that game, by the way, that game back then was such a hit, man. Like the story was It was a retread with some slight modifications and the implementation of Black Cat in the storyline, in the story mode. And, Toby's voice acting, let's face it, it was crap. Um, but they wanted that authenticity of having to voice the actors from the movies, voice the respective characters in the game. But it was really the web slinging. It was the web slinging, and it was the side content. Um, Well, we'll scratch that. I don't think the side content wasn't really necessarily all that to write home about. But it was. I remember without a shadow of a doubt, it was the web slinging. The web slinging in that game really took it to the next level at the time, back in 2004. Um, so yeah, after Spider-Man 2, I fell off, and Spider-Man 3 came out. I like the third movie. Looking at it now, definitely has some problems. And I never played the third Spider-Man game, and from what I've seen and heard, that game has a lot of problems. That game has a lot of problems. But and then after that, I just fell off. I would hear about the games coming out, but I wouldn't really buy them. I just wouldn't buy them for whatever reason. Um, But fast forward to 2018, and you have Insomniac's Spider Man. Now, I don't need to tell you guys how much of a game changer that game was, and for the Spider Man brand of video game. Um, it was just, you know, yeah, it was a game changer. And the story was top notch. The gameplay mechanics were fluid as hell, and the web slinging was perfected. And as of now, that game is that game is the best Spider-Man game ever made. Now, I say for now because the sequel has the potential to surpass that game. Um, so we've only gotten that one trailer. where you see basically Miles and Peter team up and kick some ass, right? And then there's a voiceover of who is undoubtedly Kraven the Hunter. I'm actually reading right now. I'm in the middle of a classic Spider-Man comic where it's basically Kraven's first appearance. I forgot the issue number, but I'm reading it on my phone, and I'm loving it. I'm loving Kraven's first appearance, man. The chameleon's involved, and he's just going after he's going after Peter. He looks as Peter, as Spider-Man as like the ultimate challenge. You know, so I think that's going to carry over to the game. I think, and you could even hear it in the voiceover. He wants to, and this is my theory. This is my theory um, about Spider-Man 2, the game. I think what's going to happen is Craven is going to come on the scene, and he's going to look at Miles and Peter as like, he's either going to look at both of them as the ultimate challenge, or he's going to bypass Miles and not even bother with Miles. And I'm not saying that to disrespect Miles or his fans. I'm a fan of Miles. I'm just speculating here that, again, he's either going to look at both of them as a challenge, or there's going to be something about Peter that he finds to be the ultimate challenge. And because by this point in the game, Peter's been Spider-Man for a long time. He's been Spider-Man for a long time, so he knows what he's doing. And for all we know, they're probably going to implement something in the campaign where Kraven has been, you know, just looking and paying attention to what Peter's been doing as Spider-Man for a long time. He's just been doing it behind the scenes. They could end up doing that, you know. But so I think that's what's going to happen. And during their altercations, Miles is going to be in the mix. And but I think what's going to end up happening is, if you remember the end credits of the first game, Harry is inside this containment tank, and he has that disease. I don't think they ever specified it. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played the game and seen that scene, but I believe whatever disease it is, Norman's been keeping Harry inside this containment tank. And Harry in this universe, in the Spider-Man PS5, PS4, PS5 universe, he's gonna be Venom. It's not gonna be Eddie Brock, which I don't mind. I don't mind when they deviate, here and there. I guess it adds an element of newness to an extent, and so I'm not gonna have a problem with it. I could already see fans having issues with it, and hey, more power to you. That's fine, um, but what I see end up happening is, during or after, I would say during one of Peter's altercations with Craven, Venom is going to come on the scene, and Venom is going to prove to be such a lethal force of immense catastrophic danger that Peter, Miles, and Kraven are going to have to team up together to fight Venom. I think in this game, Venom is going to be. I think in this game, Venom is going to be a very, very dangerous force. And I think if it comes to that, and he's presented the way I'm speculating, um, it's going to kind of put Venom even more so in the forefront of the public consciousness. I mean, because you got the Venom movies. Venom has always been a fan favorite. Venom is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, if not the favorite. Um, my number one favorite, rather. And but I think it's really going to push. It has the potential to push how he's presented in this game has the potential to push him to another level, even if it's going to be Harry and not Eddie. Um, but yeah, that's what I think is going to end up happening. Uh, Kraven's going to come on the scene, challenge Peter during one of their altercations. Venom's going to come on the scene and whip everybody's ass. I think he's going to whip everybody's ass, Peter, Miles, and Kraven, and then they got to team up to fight this dude and stop him once and for all. And there's probably going to be, in the in during fighting Craven and Venom, there's probably there's gonna have to be side villains. Maybe Mr. Negative comes back. Maybe Martin Lee as Mr. Negative comes back. Maybe Shocker comes back. Maybe Black Cat won't be in just DLC. Maybe she'll show up and be in the regular campaign and time will tell. Time will tell. But they so not only that not only am I speculating on that, but also in terms of what I would want personally. In terms of side content, there needs to be a lot of side missions. There needs to be side missions that are going to be uh that are going to feel good to complete. You know, and one more thing. I guess this will be the last thing I'm going to say is with Miles, Miles is going to be in the game. So it's is Insomniac. You have to ask the question: is Insomniac gonna pull a GTA 5 and allow you to switch over anytime you want? As can you play the whole game as Peter? Can you play the whole game as Miles? Or is it going to be a mandatory switch where you play as Peter for a while, then you have to no choice but to you have no choice but to switch over to Miles, and because it just it makes you think, it makes you think because Miles is going to be in the game, and they're not going to at least give you the option of playing as Miles. So so then you know, is Gaki gonna be, in some cutscenes? Is Miles's mother gonna be, in the cutscenes? I would imagine she would be. And I think Miles is gonna be because Miles is my dude. Miles is my boy. You know what I'm saying? It's him and Peter, man. And I think, if anything, I think Miles is gonna be, uh, still feeling, the after effect of that battle he had with what's her name, his friend from back in his high school days, who ended up being the Tinkerer. I think he's still going to be feeling the effects of that and remembering her, and it's probably going to be messing up his focus a little bit, and yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But that's my theory. That's my theory, and those are the questions I have in regards to Spider-Man 2. Insomniac really needs to surprise everybody and knock it out the park with this game. I don't doubt for a second that they won't be able to. I know they're gonna knock it out the park, and then even way after the game launches, what type of DLC is it going to be? Is it going to be 3 episodes like it was for the first game, or are they going to add more? Uh, I would like to imagine with the PlayStation 5, they're going to be able to do more with this game as what more so than they did on the first one. But yeah, that first game is amazing, and I hope that this second game can really surprise people. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this about Spider-Man 2. Catch you guys in the next video.